except people that went to Mongolia. Look, come here. We do not plan this shit. It happens. Overland Expo 2019, both of us. Alright, I should probably stick this on look at that sunset. Probably stick this on a tripod or something, so I'm not standing here like this all the time. We got into north of Moab, and ooh, kind of cool too. We got some moon. We trucked ourselves out of Phoenix today, got ourselves north of Moab, found this little camp, oddball kind of place where there's pullouts all along the road, and they're full. It's kind of a crowded place. A little warm. This is officially the warmest we have camped in our trailer. It will be our first night in this trailer without the Mr. Heater going in the annex room. We're not sure what to make of that. We'll figure it out, I'm sure. Yeah, now we're set up. Gonna make some dinner, wake up in the morning, and truck on out. Keep on headed towards the Canadian border. Oh! Have not described to any degree what it is we're doing on this trip. We're burning up towards the Canadian border, and just highways and whatnot, quickly as we can, probably 2.5 days, and then we're going to Continental Divide Trail off-road all the way back to the Mexican border, somewhere in New Mexico, back to Phoenix. However that all works out, we're kind of winging it. We did this trip 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago on motorcycles. That was Dragon Lady's first big outing on a motorcycle. What else is there to say about that?
It'll be our longest trip.
It'll be the longest trip in the Turtleback.
On motorcycles, it was
the longest trip anybody's ever taken, except people that went to Mongolia. Look, come here. We do not plan this shit. It happens. Overland Expo 2019, both of us. Take your copycat t-shirt and go. That's about it. I don't know. Now I'm just muttering.
okay.
Alright. So this is morning of day 2. It might be 8:30 in the morning. It might be 9:30. We're in time zones now. We don't know how that shit works. guess I get one sip of coffee and now I'm in busy mode packing up camp. So now we're back on the road, heading north towards
Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City-ish, Montana-ish, Canada, somewhere else out there too. Grizzly bears are out there. Our favorite thing in the world.
Look, one of the skydivers is almost getting ready to touch
No,
down.
one of the skydivers is landing on the earth. There he goes. There's the other one right behind him. I doubt we can see any of that through the GoPro. We just mostly see these motorcycles.
All GS's.
Yeah.
He's way off. The other two
Where are you
are
going?
right there.
Turn.
He doesn't know how to turn.
He's got a hike ahead of him. That's about it. Dragon Lady's got some important things she was going to say, though.
No, I don't think so. I have no idea what I'm supposed to say.
That's how this thing works. When it's pointed at your face, especially if you don't have anything to say, if it just keeps pointing at your face, you'll just start talking.
Yeah. No. Point that back to yourself.
If this was old Japan, she'd have chopped my head off 5 minutes ago. I pretty much turned this camera on with the expectation that I'm going to delete everything. Be sure to let us know in the comments. Dragon Lady has a question too.
I know.
Damn it. Say good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Ugh. It's like 4 in the morning. It's 7 or 3 in the morning. Day 3. We will be up in Eureka today. We're right now in the middle of Idaho. So we found this campsite. And it's kind of cool because we're looking on the map and it's just on the Google Maps, it just says Beaver Dick Campground. Well, that might not really be a place because it's possible still that Google Maps allows anybody to invent a place and give it a name. So yes. So I look it up on a regular Google search. It exists. Named for a guy who was a beaver hunter named Richard Lay. So, hence, Beaver Dick. That was the guy. He built this park. He added in all these little fire rings made out of old truck wheels. A bunch of, you can't see them, I can. Bunch of picnic tables all in a row. Very military looking. Dragon Lady standing there with her pants all rolled up like it might rain.
I'm going to take that coffee back from you here.
Anyway, if you're up in this area, it's a delightful little park. It's got a lot of, there's a lake over there. I don't know how big it is. Well, if you go over there, Dragon Lady, I'm saying a lake over there, and Dragon Lady's correcting me going, no, it's over there. Maybe the lake goes like that.
I don't know.
So anyway, yeah, big old lake, and they say, there's a sign that says, you can swim from the floating dock, advanced swimmers only. Well, the floating dock is like 25 yards up inland, so it would be a very advanced swimmer who could jump from that and land in the water. I mean, I would think I'm kind of an advanced swimmer, but I ain't that good. So we stayed for night number 3. Yes, we stayed in a lodge kind of a place. This, there we go. Riverstone Family Lodge, just north of Eureka, Montana. We were debating camping, but when we were through here a while back, we stayed at this place when we were on the motorcycle trip. We kind of needed a reset day. We also needed a day in between. We had to change tires, get from highway tires to off-road tires on the motorcycles. We did all that in Eureka. So we stayed here for 2 nights, and we absolutely loved the place. So what we did, we kind of just like sentimentally were like, well, let's stay there because we like the place. We like the people. It's family owned. It's a really cool place. The border port at Roosevelt is 3 miles that way, 2, 3, something like that. But you can see the sceneries. Absolutely beautiful place up here. Dragon Lady's still inside talking to the folks about how much we enjoyed our stay, I'm sure. So, typical night. The rooms are great. They have the usual stuff. But the folks are awesome. Cool little cabins, little carport you can park your motorcycle in or back your trailer into. Dragon Lady was talking to the hotel lady.
Yeah. She said they just came back from New Zealand. They travel and do a lot of stuff. She said they're like, you can get them with diesel engines.
Get what with diesel engines?
The Forerunner.
It's called the...
U.S. crappy stupid laws? Yes, I know.
No, the Forerunner in Australia is called the... I forget now. It's not a Forerunner. It's not the Prado either, though, is it? Maybe. Might be the Prado. Roughly it's exactly the same chassis. Styling-wise, it looks a little bit different than this. It looks kind of exactly in between this and the Lexus G, whatever that thing is, 470. We can't get out this way? Yeah, we can go around here. So, anyway.
Good morning.
There it is. Okay, here we go. We're on the highway, which means, because I was going to say, from here on out it's all dirt. And then I went, that doesn't look like dirt. Well, the route is it all dirt? It's 75-80% dirt all the way back to the great state of New Mexico, which is right next door to our great state of Arizona. I don't have my seatbelt on, and Toyota is kind enough to remind me of that fact. Here, hold this. I gotta make my seatbelt. Don't point it at me. Explain to our faithful viewers.
You're doing a really good job.
Look at this guy. Guy with a big saw. Back before chainsaws. Back before those big trucks that just grab the tree and snap it off and then whip it through and all the limbs come flying off and all you're left with is finished lumber. Those are awesome. Port of entry. Duty-free store. First and last chance. Leaving United States. Please report. Report what?
Please report to Canadian authorities or something.
Do we have to? I don't know. Reporting to Canadian authorities.
So when we go across the border, we do.
They don't have any thing with me. Here, did we follow these arrows?
No, because that's going into the...
And there's old Bob Clark. Don't know who that is. Okay. Gotta switch cameras because we can't see anything through this one. And there we have it. I finally went and did it. The classic mistake of a lot of rookie YouTubers, I guess. Rookie Overland vloggers. Probably everybody of every sort of video production has done this at one time or another. It took me a year and a half, although I still consider myself deeply a rookie. Because whatever. But what I did, we drove all the way to the border. And was using the GoPro to talk in the truck. Went to switch to the larger dedicated video camera. And the audio settings had got kicked around, if you will, and kicked around to recording a recording level of 0. So I grabbed this camera, jumped out of the truck at the border, walking around talking about the border, where we go from there, the route, some things, all with no audio. And it's bad timing. If it were anything else, I could probably just skip it and be like, yeah, I talked too much on this idiot thing anyway. But it was kind of a milestone, a momentous point in our trip that needed a little bit of talking, because we're literally at the border at Roosevelt, and in that previous clip I called it Roosevelt. But it's the port of entry in the little tiny village of Roosevelt, Montana, the border between the United States and Canada. And kind of a big deal because from there we're a couple thousand miles from home, and we're now the reason for the trip had got to that point. We now turn around and run a little over 3,000 miles off-road to get back home, or a little under 3,000 miles off-road to get back home, and it's kind of a thing. Well, mostly what I have is this soundless video of me walking around someplace with some buildings around, and maybe something that you may or may not be able to identify as a very quiet and empty border crossing. So I got that out of the way. It was another couple of hours during the day before I even noticed that we weren't capturing audio at all, before I got that fixed. So it is what it is. Now I get to do one of these, talk to the camera and explain, and I only do that. I would just skip it. But I only do that because it's sort of that big milestone, that big turning point for the trip where we switch from highway to off-road and come back south. And it kind of starts our trip proper. Everything that we've done before that in this first episode was just getting to that point. To like I said, to start our trip proper. So here it is, here goes, that's the rest of that, and that pretty much locks out this episode. I'm starting the next part of this series of episodes with now us actually beginning the trip south. So there we have it. Hope you enjoyed this thing thus far, and we'll see you when I get the next one edited to continue our trip. Some dirt roads, some mountains, some lakes, a lot of rivers, a lot of moving water, which us desert folk aren't accustomed to seeing water moving by itself. We only see water that we capture and make it move from the place where it's captured into the city so we can use it up. Yeah, babbling now. I do that.